Hello everybody, this is Yugi. We are back again with another H-bossing video. This time we are doing a bossing breakdown. This is going to be a new series. I'm going to be breaking down all the H-bosses that are possible to solo in the game up until Black Mage because I haven't soloed Black Mage yet. So I'll be breaking down everything all the way up from H-Lotus all the way up until Sea Jungle, for heroes specifically. So I will say that this is going to be a solo bossing video, so it's not meant for party bossing. It's more for people that want to do their first solos for the bosses, or they want to know how to consistently be able to solo the bosses every week on their heroes. So mostly for people that are looking towards liberation, mostly for people that are a little bit more higher stat than usual. For party bossing, you can still look at this video, it's no problem, because I will be discussing a lot of different mechanics in this video for the bosses, and I'll be showing you guys some live examples when I get to the live example portion of how to do the boss. So I'll be going through a couple of things. I'll be going through like things like recommended stat, V matrix, all that kind of stuff. I'll be going through boss mechanics, so hopefully you guys learn a little bit about how to tackle this boss as a hero. I will say that this is mostly for Maplestory. There are a few things that change in GMS, like you guys have familiars, you have Gorlaks, so certain stat becomes easier to get, like boss and ID, so you can probably do it at a lower stat. You can probably do it more easily. So yeah, it's not exactly it won't exactly be accurate for GMS, but it probably is pretty accurate for Maplestory. Yeah. I'll also say that this is probably not going to be for min stat soloers, so it's not going to be for people that want to do like, you know, 30k stat solo, or they want to do like floor 50 dojo solo. Like those to me are impressive, but it's not consistent. Like you won't be able to consistently do this every single week, or at least not every week without burning a whole bunch of buff freezers to clear the boss. So I would say that this is more of like if you want to comfortably clear the boss every week for solo bossing, and how to comfortably clear the boss, and how to, you know, ensure that you don't spend too many buff freezers every week for this boss. So yeah, you're looking probably at a 15 to 20 minute run most of the time for H-Lotus. 20 minutes is probably stretching it already. 15 minutes is what I recommend for H-Lotus. But yeah, that's what this guide is going to be. That's the target audience for this guide. Of course, if you're just here to learn, go ahead. There's nothing wrong with just sitting in and listening to me talk about the boss and learning a bit more about the boss. Anyways, let's talk about Lotus. So Lotus to me is probably the easiest of all the hard bosses to solo. Not because the mechanics are easy, but because the HP happens to be one of the lowest of all the H bosses. H-Lotus tends to be the weakest because its HP is the lowest, and it should take you the least amount of time. Now that being said, even though the HP is low, the mechanics are pretty challenging in H-Lotus, and sometimes they can be pretty bullshit. So like, sometimes the boss is like it'll give you platforms, and then they'll put a truck on top of the platform, and there's like nothing you can do except death, like things like that. But for hero, there's a lot of ways to get around it, because, you know, we have a short cooldown iframe and all that. So yeah, I feel like this should be most people's first H-boss solo. Compared to Damien, I think Lotus is easier, obviously, because Damien is a bitch, and Damien is honestly a pain in the ass to solo because of the P2 mechanics. But Lotus, to me, as long as you're playing well, as long as you have good mechanics, is quite an easily soloable boss. Mostly because Lotus is the kind of boss where his hitbox is always available. So you can always be doing like, you can have like 80 to 90% DPM uptime. So what that means is that you can be hitting the boss 80 to 90% of the time. So as long as you're not wasting time, you're not hiding from the boss, you're not dying too much, you should be able to get out most of your damage on the boss all the time. That coupled with his lower HP makes this fight quite a bit shorter than most other H-boss fights in general. So yeah, should be pretty doable. Hopefully you guys will be able to do it after you watch this video. Anyways, let me go through certain things. Let me go through my recommended stat for Lotus. So I'll be giving you guys the recommended stat range, the recommended dojo, and all that. So first of all, we'll look at dojo. So I recommend about floor 52, 53 dojo to clear this boss solo. It won't be super comfortable. At floor 52, 53, you're probably looking at like a 15 to 20 minute clear around there. Possibly slightly longer, depending on how well you play. But yeah, that's for dojo. If you're looking for stat, it's probably going to be about 35 to 40k stat around there. Lower end is possible as well if your WSE is better, like 33, 32, 33k stat, also possible if your WSE is slightly stronger than most other people's. It depends. So I also recommend at least 1 or 2, well, actually no, I recommend 2 3-line WSE main pot. So your WSE should all be legend. And I recommend that at least 2 of them are 3-liners. So basically like boss attack, boss IED attack, boss attack, something like that. Try not to have too many IED lines, obviously. But yeah, I recommend having 3-line main pot on all of them. If not, then at least 2 of them. And then the other one should be 2-line at the very least. Your ad pot, up to you. I think at the very bare minimum, you should be aiming for like epic 6%. But if you can't get epic 6%, 3% rare is also technically possible. It's just gonna be a little bit more struggle than most people. Okay, that's WSE. Your armor and accessories I didn't mention in this window because your armor accessories, it's whatever gets you to 35k stat. Obviously your gloves, if possible, get 1-line crit damage. If not, then anything goes. Whatever gets you to 35k stat. 33 to 35k stat around that. That's like, to me, the bare minimum to comfortably solo the boss. IED is obviously a big factor. IED might not seem like a big factor when you're going from normal bossing, but for hard bossing, definitely a huge factor. IED is a big deal and it will affect your final damage by a lot, so make sure that you have at least 92% IED, preferably more. If you can get 94, 95%, that is best. That's my recommended range, but 92 and 95 is probably decent enough to solo this H-boss. I also recommend having at least 45 guild skill points. This is not within your control, this is dependent on your guild, but if possible, join a guild that has 45 guild skill points because you want to have maxed out boss damage percent, and crit damage percent for all the guild skills. Very useful to have, they'll boost your damage by a lot, so make sure you have them. And also, finally, we have seed rings. I recommend having either RR3 or Weapon Jump Strength 4, preferably both. If you don't have both, then my recommended seed ring is probably Weapon Jump Strength 4. Reason being, for Lotus specifically, it's pretty difficult to use RR, especially in Phase 1. Phase 1 is difficult, and Phase 3 it's difficult. Or not difficult, but it's subject to RNG. So what this means is that if you are unlucky, you can get completely cucked by like trucks in Phase 3. So like, you use your RR has a certain range to it, and then Lotus just decides to drop a truck on your face, and then you can't do anything about it, you have to leave your RR. So having a Weapon Jump Strength 4 is slightly better, because you have more freedom of movement, it's more flexible. Same with Phase 1. Phase 1 is very difficult to use RR because the spinning lasers are they spin in a certain direction and they don't stop, so it's impossible for you to, it's almost impossible for you to use like the full 10-second duration of your RR. Pretty difficult, so recommended Weapon Jump Strength 4 if you can only choose one. Best to have both, but if you can only choose one, then Weapon Jump Strength 4. Okay, we also have nice items to have. These are really nice items, and if you're lucky, you have them. If you don't have them, then don't worry about it. They are not required to clear this boss. First, you have Battleroid. Obviously, Battleroid is just like a permanent buff freezer. It's nice to have. It will save you a lot of buff freezers every week if you have it. Obviously, you have Lucid Earrings. Lucid Earrings is, again, nice to have because it lines up very well with your burst and off burst. You can use it with every Erda Nova and you end up having a 19-second bind. It's very sick to have. I myself have Lucid Earrings, but I won't be using the Lucid Earrings during this run, hopefully, so that I can show you guys like how to do it without Lucid Earrings. We have Curring. Curring is only available to people that are older players because Stellar Detectives is not available in Maple Sea anymore. Stellar Detectives is available in GMS still, but not in Maple Sea. So if you have a level 4 Curring from back then, way back then when you did Stellar Detectives, good for you. It's a great ring to use, and I would honestly recommend using it as your 3rd ring. So your 4th ring will obviously be a C ring. Your 3rd ring, I would honestly recommend using a Curring all the time. It's useful in a lot of scenarios. Again, I'll be trying to do my live showcase without occurring so that you guys you guys can get the full experience without using curring, and then you can use curring if you have one during your own runs. And lastly, of course, BOD. Lol. BOD will help a lot, obviously, if you have it. If you don't have it, it's fine. If you have it, it's very good. Not too much to say about this ring. Besides, if you have a BOD, you should probably be clearing quite comfortably. So yeah, I wouldn't. It's not my first recommendation to get, definitely. It's too expensive, but if you have it, good for you. Alright, moving on. Next, we have the recommended V-Matrix setup. So, Lotus is a little bit different from other bosses, so the V Matrix recommendations are a little bit different. It's not drastically different, but there are a few skills in here that you normally wouldn't include in your typical H bossing setup. So obviously we have the hero V skills. These are all, you know, standard. You should max all of them except maybe combo default or World Reaver. This skill is nice to be maxed, but it's not 100% necessary because it's an iframe and the iframe cooldown doesn't decrease even if you max it. The damage increases, I guess, but it's not a big deal if it's not maxed. The rest should be maxed though. Sword of Burning Soul, Instinct, and Sword Illusion, obviously just max them. They are a big part of your damage. Definitely max them. We have Tricores. Tricores should all be maxed. This one is no question about it. Whether you're using the old Tricore, which I recommended in my, which I showed in my hero basic bossing guide, or you're using the new Tricore, which I recommend for newer heroes, doesn't matter. All of it should be maxed. No questions. Alright. Warrior common skills, we also have Weapon Aura, Maple Goddess Warrior, Maple Goddess Blessing, Blink, and Urda Nova. These should all be maxed as well. This is important for your burst and important for your overall DPM. Weapon Aura and Maple Goddess especially. Blink is a little bit of a weirder one because usually you wouldn't max Blink so early. But specifically for Lotus, I would say you should max it. Because Blink is a great help when you're dodging things like Platform Laser. Platform Laser is something basically like... well, I mean, I'm sure you guys know what Platform Lasers is, but when Platform Lasers appear, you can actually use Blink to dodge the entirety of it if you have it maxed. Because the higher the level of Blink is, the longer that you can float in the air, basically. So if platforms land on the ground, you can up jump, blink, press and hold your blink, and you will pretty much dodge the entirety of the lasers. The nice thing about Blink is that even if you get hit by debris while you're in the air, you will not get stunned. Or rather, you will get stunned, but you won't get knocked out of your flying animation. You won't get knocked out of Blink as long as you press and hold your blink. So it's very, very useful. It means that basically, if you're not unlucky and she doesn't summon, or he doesn't summon a truck above you, you can basically just up jump and then press a hold blink and then just stay there until the entire laser is gone, and then you can just drop down again, and you'll be safe. Yeah. It's more useful than you think in Lotus for sure. So I highly recommend that you max it. Hopefully I get to show you guys later in the live example how to use Blink to dodge platform lasers. Okay, lastly, of course, Urda Nova. Urda Nova is a no-brainer. You should definitely max it for this boss as well as all your other H bosses because it lines up perfectly with Sword of Burning Soul and Combo Instinct. So, you know, your burst and off burst all depend a lot on having max Urda Nova. Good to have, definitely max it. Alright, lastly, we have, or not lastly, but next we have Steadfast Core, Urda Will, DSI, DCO, DSE. These are all useful skills to have for Lotus, but they don't need to be maxed, so don't worry about maxing them. Steadfast Core is useful because it gives you super stance, but it has a very long cooldown, so there's no real reason to max it. It's just mostly used for the super stance. The super stance is nice because it gives you the ability to tank her push or tank his push without worrying about being knocked off platforms and stuff like that, or being knocked into debris or being knocked into trucks. So yeah, Steadfast Core is nice. Urda Will is a little bit more advanced. So if you're an advanced player, you will make use of Urda Will to do things like, basically for Urda Will and for Hero's Will by an extension, you have to press it before you get stunned. And that will allow you to basically not get stunned by like things like debris for 3 seconds. So again, if you're a little bit more advanced, you use this. For example, if you're bursting, you don't want to stop your burst, you press Urda Will instead of trying to dodge, and you will not get stunned by debris and you don't have to stop hitting the boss, basically. So yeah, that's Urda Will. DSI, DCO, DSE don't even need to be mentioned. These are decents that you should always have all the time. And obviously their level doesn't matter because they're 100% uptime. Urda Will doesn't need to be high level either because it's a long cooldown and it's not something that you'll be spamming that often, so yeah, not too important. Anyways, after that we have Special Core. Special Core is Death Blow 1. I recommend using Death Blow 1. I think it's called Fatal Strike 1 in GMS, I'm not sure. But it's the one that basically has a 30-second cooldown and gives you 2% of damage. Yeah, that is that one. It's not 100% necessary, but it's nice to have if you have the slots for it. So anyways, this is what your V Matrix should look like. This is what I recommend that it looks like for H Lotus. As you can see, everything is maxed. There are certain skills that are maxed that don't need to be maxed, but that's mostly because I've played this game for a while and I've had the extra cores. So you don't need to max things like Steadfast Core, you don't really need to max things like Erdal Will. You don't really need to max your Decents or Bow Reaver, but nice to have them maxed if you have them. So this is like a 260 hero setup basically. This is all the slots that you unlock up until 260. If you want to save a little bit of core slots, if you're a newer hero, you can make the new Tricore, you have 2 extra slots. You can probably slot in something like Will skill, like the Spider skill, and probably like Death Blow, I guess. I neglected to put in Death Blow because that will put you at 265, which is a little bit high level. 260 is probably the recommended level that I suggest that you start soloing H bosses anyway. You can start earlier, obviously you can start at like 250, but it'll probably be a little bit more difficult, especially because you will definitely be lacking core slots. So yeah, my recommended level is honestly 260. So yeah, that's the V Matrix. Okay, so I'm pretty much done explaining like all of this talky about all the pre-setup and all that. I'll be moving on to the actual bossing showcase. I'll be doing it live. Hopefully, I'll be dropping my stat as well. Hopefully it goes well. Hopefully I don't have to re-record it because I die out or something. But I'll be dropping my stat by quite a lot, and I'll be trying to do a slight lower stat run so that you guys get a longer boss run and a clearer picture of how I would usually run the boss. So yeah, I will see you guys in the live bossing showcase. Hello everybody, we're back. Okay, we are in bossing setup now. We are going for the live bossing showcase. Hopefully this goes well. Hopefully I don't have to record it multiple times. If not, this is going to be very annoying. But this is the first take. So if you see this take, it means that it went well. Hopefully it goes well. Anyways, I'm just here to show you guys my stat. I am 34.5k stat. This is about the recommended stat that I have, that I recommend that you use. I have taken off a bunch of gear, so I've lowered my stat quite a lot. I've lowered my crit damage as well by taking off like my gloves and all that. As you can see, there's a bunch of stuff being taken off. But basically, this is what I'm going to be rocking with, 93% IED. Once I put on my pets, which I should probably do before I forget, with DSE I'll have 100% crit rate. And yeah, should be good to go, I think. As you can see, the V Matrix is what I recommended. I didn't change anything from the V Matrix screenshot that I sent you all. I will not be using Death Blow because, you know, it'll be a 265 skill, so yeah. I mean, not 265, it'll be like a 265 slot, so I didn't want to include that. And that should be pretty okay. Should be pretty set up. Obviously, I have a Genesis weapon, so, you know, I'm gonna be stronger than your average hero at this stat. So what I'll do to compensate is I probably won't use guild skills. So yeah, we won't be using guild skills for this run. Everything else should be pretty standard. Right, okay, let us go. Enough talking. I will do some buffs. That's pretty much all I'm going to use, I think. I will also echo myself. Also, I've taken Door, so I highly recommend taking Door, Heaven's Door, before your bossing runs. Just get your friends to Heaven's Door you, or, you know, get your guildmates to Heaven's Door you. That's my recommendation, so that you have an extra life, just in case. Just in case. Like I said, once again, I won't be using Lucid Earrings, so I will take that off my keybind just in case, and I will not use Ion as well, so I'll also take that off my keybind. So you guys get a better picture. Okay, anyways, so as usual, we'll be doing our usual buffing up. I recommend that you pre-buff before you go in to into phase 1, just so that you don't have to spend so much time buffing. So the key for phase 1 is basically you want to be bursting as much as possible to try and take it down ASAP. You can do what I did, which is to iframe and then go in the opposite direction of the laser, so you have more space on the other side for you to continue hitting the boss without having to worry about the laser. Now that was a little bit fast, but you know, it is what it is. We see platforms, so we'll be binding. The reason why we bound there is because we are in instinct anyways, so we might as well use our Urda Nova to bind. Now, in this boss, Rush is your best friend. As you can see, at 0 attack speed, your Rush is extremely fast. So what you can do is every time you see his, you can basically tell when he's about to push from the silhouette. You get ready and then you just rush, basically. I would say like every 3 to 4 attacks, you can rush. You should start getting ready to rush already, so that you don't end up eating his push. Now this is the safest platform in H Lotus because you can't get pushed off of it into lasers. As you can tell, I just got pushed there, but I didn't get pushed off because there's no room to push me off on the left side. So if possible, you want to stand at the left side If the most left side platform spawns, you should stand on it so that you can well, you can be very safe basically. If you're a little bit more aggressive, you don't have to stand on that platform. You can stand next to him and start hitting him. And okay, so single platform here. So I'll try and demonstrate using blink. Basically, you want up jump and blink. You hold your blink in the air, and if you will please do lasers. Yeah, okay. Here I have to iframe and up jump again because he did late lasers. But basically, you get the point. You wanna blink, up jump, and then hold it there, and wait for lasers to spawn. If the lasers spawn late like that, it's fine. Just use your iframe as you're coming down to, you know, yeah, to dodge the lasers obviously. Now we have platforms again. This time it's early lasers, but it's okay. So we jump to the most left side platform. We can't get pushed off, so we're safe. And now we'll buff up for our off burst. We'll bind him. We use AB link. Wall reverse, Soy illusion. My wall reverse on cooldown there. Oh, my Soy illusion was on cooldown there. And you just hit him. Obviously, you want to be watching above you for debris and all that, but your main focus is to dodge his push as much as possible. Like I said, this boss's hitbox is always available, so as much as possible you should be trying to hit him whenever you can. Obviously, don't forget to debuff him. I have been forgetting to debuff him because I'm dumb. But try not to forget to debuff him. Again, rush is your best friend here. Absolutely your best friend. So now we have no safe platform, like we don't have the safest platform, so we gotta use up jump. Rely on up jump in order to dodge his push, and then use your iframe as well if needed to dodge his push, so that you don't get knocked into lasers. And just continue hitting him. Again, use rush to your advantage. You see him charging up his attack, just rush in the opposite direction, you'll be fine. Another thing that I mentioned is that if you have RR3, it's probably best for you to swap to RR3 in this phase, and use RR3. So here we dodge his push by jumping over to the other platform, and we're safe. All good. Again, essence of this boss fight is basically dodging his push so that you don't have to. Like basically when he pushes you, you get stunned for a couple of seconds, and you won't be able to hit the boss. So best is if you can dodge his push and continue attacking him as much as possible. You don't want to fight him in the corners, by the way. Fighting him in the corners is pretty bad idea. Like this, you kind of want to have enough room around you to dodge things like robots and falling debris and all that. Okay, here I'm gonna eat a platform, but it's okay. I'm gonna iframe. And we should be good. We're just up jump. Oh, okay. That was a bad up jump. That was definitely a bad up jump. Oops. Should have died there, but it's okay. Anyways, we have our burst again, but I won't be bursting because I don't want to waste my burst on this phase. As you can see, it's almost dead, so don't want to waste it. And here we're gonna get yeeted, and there's platforms. It's fine. Watch out for his push, and then you up jump, then you're fine. Iframe to dodge the next push, and we're still good. So I'll just be slowly DPSing this phase down. Also so that I can showcase more of this phase more than anything. You can also use your up jump to dodge his push if you're in a bad spot. Like if there's debris on the other side of him and you don't want to rush into the debris, you can just up jump like this to get out of there. Again, iframe here, dodge his push, up jump, and then hold blink. Here I'm just gonna hold blink because I don't have iframe anymore. And it's a little bit dangerous to up jump on a platform, so just gonna up jump there and hold blink. As you can see just now, I was supposed to be stunned by a small piece of debris, but I was not stunned because blink has a super stance property that prevents you from getting knocked out of it. Okay, so here is a little bit more dicey. So what I'm gonna do is okay, fuck yeah. Okay, bro. I was gonna pop steadfast core, but I was stunned. I'm sad. It's okay. Shit happens. I was gonna show you guys how to pop steadfast core and then, you know, tank all his pushes, but game sucks. It's fine. It's fine. We just ate door and lost 1 life. I'm sure it's fine. Again, this phase is taking longer than it should because I've chosen not to burst. I probably could have just used an off burst and saved instinct, but I didn't. Again, platforms. So we see a safe platform. Usually if you're less confident, you just want to go to the safe platform, which is the leftmost platform, basically. Safe platform means that no chance of dying, or no chance of getting pushed into lasers. Not no chance of dying. You still have a chance of dying if you eat too many things at once, but generally lower chance of dying. Okay, we're in phase 3. Great. We have our burst up, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna full buff for burst. This all should be pretty standard now. As hero mains, you should know this. I'm gonna bind, pop seed ring, weapon instinct, and we're just gonna hit him. Obviously, you want to be watching out for things like trucks, as you can see, while you're bursting. You don't want to be jumping into those, and you don't want to be eating these things as well. But I'm stupid and I eat them. It's fine. So one of his attacks that he does is purple. Purple is fairly easy to dodge. You just need to be calm, don't eat like debris, and you'll be fine. Okay, my iframe went off, but apparently I still got hit, but that's fine. Again, rush your best friend. It's always your best friend. Don't just think about rushing past him as well. You can rush away from him to dodge things like debris. So it's not always about rushing towards him. So now this is a little bit of a dangerous spot, so we're gonna iframe, dodge the laser, dodge the truck, and then we're just gonna float in the air. And we're safe. All good. Oh, okay, I may have miscasted my Sword Illusion. Like a dumbass. Again, continuing to use Rush to dodge his attacks as much as possible. And here, as I said, you don't want to be fighting him in the corner because bad shit like that can happen. Okay, more platforms. So basically you want to wait like 1 second and then or 2 seconds, and then you want to up jump and flash jump and then blink in the air. And yeah, there we go. Lasers. Again, late lasers, so I had to iframe at the end there, but you kind of get the point. We're gonna buff up for off boss, gonna debuff the boss, bind him, and just hit him. Bind's over, so we need to be a little bit careful. Try not to stand on top of the boss as well, like what I just did. That's a bad idea. Standing on top of the boss has touch damage. Oh, he does touch damage, so okay, ouch. That was very dumb up jump. Ow. Okay, I'm dead. That was unfortunate. Some stupid robot spawned above me. Was unfortunate. But you're gonna have to take deaths like that sometimes. Lotus is not a fun boss sometimes. And again, using Rush. Platforms. Again, go to the safe platform if you're not sure. Ow. Okay, bro. That was a little bit scary. Oh, by the way, that green thing stops you from jumping, but you can still rush. So, okay, so the nice thing about hero in general for this green thing right over here is that you can't jump, but you can still up jump if you have it, if you know the key, either the key press or you have it bound, you can still up jump. So unlike most classes, that green thing actually doesn't really affect heroes that much. Okay, so here I'm going to pop Steadfast Core so that I don't get knocked back, so I can buff up for burst. I'm gonna iframe because there's a lot of suns. It's not fun. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh, okay, thank you. I was afraid that I was gonna miss the vine there, but I did not miss the vine, so we're good. This is not very nice. There's a lot of crux. So the nice thing about having Valhalla on is that while you're bursting, it means that you don't really have to dodge his pushes because you have super stuns almost the entire way through. So if you're a little bit more aggressive, you're a little bit more confident, you can just tank his pushes and just use instinct. Okay, here I'm a little bit scared, so I'm just gonna up jump and blink, and we're good. Mostly because my Valhalla was running out there, so I didn't have super stuns anymore. Didn't want to chance it. Okay, purple. Purple, you just want to be looking at the floor and making sure that you don't get hit by these purple balls. It's not that difficult, but it can be a bit dicey, depending on how much debris is falling from the sky. Again, you can also use up jump to dodge debris. Something that you want to consider. We're going over to the safe platform because I'm scared. You can end up taking a surprising amount of damage from these suns, by the way, so as much as possible you should be trying to dodge them and not tank too many ticks. If not, you are going to have a bad time. You're gonna end up taking a little bit too much damage for comfort. So I'm just gonna run away for a bit and set up my off burst. Here I'm just gonna bind him just to be safe, and we are going to dodge that thing and continue hitting him. So the nice thing about Other Nova is that if you bind him during platforms, if you bind him early during platforms, he will not do lasers. So it's a good thing to keep in mind. It's not 100%. Basically, like, as long as the platforms are still in the air and you bind him, he will definitely not do lasers. But if you wait too long, for example, if the platforms spawn on the ground already, like they hit the ground, and then you bind him, there's a chance that he will still do lasers. So you gotta be a little bit careful about that. Try and stay on the platforms if you bind him once the platforms have already landed on the floor. It's just so that you don't get yeeted by lasers unexpectedly. Ah, that was a bad up jump. Fine. That was also a bad up jump. Okay, my up jump timing is just terrible, apparently. Okay, more platforms. So we're safe, we're gonna up jump here. High frame. Probably should have up jump blinked if I wanted to be 100% safe, but it's fine. We're at iframe. There's a lot of trucks in the center, so you kind of want to dodge away. Again, using rush to your advantage. Ah, I rushed. Okay, see, this is what I mean by rushing into the sun. The sun is pretty dangerous if you aren't paying attention. So please pay attention to that sun. Can end up doing a lot of damage if you're not careful. Okay, more platforms, but this time we have steadfast core, so I'm just gonna steadfast core. I'm just gonna stand here. Obviously you don't want to tank too much debris, so I'm not gonna tank everything. I'm gonna buff up for burst, gonna debuff the boss, bind him, instinct, and hit the boss. I'm gonna press Hero's Will here so I don't get stunned by that thing, and I'm gonna move out of the way of the robot. Okay, I did not press Oda's Will there, but it's fine. Ow. Okay, dodge out of the way a bit. Okay, get pushed like a stupid and dodge out of the way. Okay, purple. Again, purple is not super dangerous, you just gotta be paying attention. And also, you always have iframe on reserve, so in case you need iframe, just iframe. There's no harm in it. Okay, that was a bit dangerous. Almost got yeeted into a robot. Yeah, I'm gonna up jump. I don't want to get pushed in either direction because there are trucks on either side. Again, using rush to your advantage. It's a low cooldown skill, just use it. Oh, no cooldown skill, not low cooldown skill. It's a no cooldown skill. So just use it. Okay, purples again. Just watch the floor. Don't need to be too nervous during purples, just walk. Like, the more distance you cover, the higher chance that you get hit by falling debris. So, highly recommend that you just walk small increments and small distances to dodge purples. Okay, we have our off burst. I'm gonna bind. For illusion, bow reaver. Standard stuff. Try not to get hit by that robot. Jump. Okay, platforms. Gonna up jump. Oh, okay, I wanted to blink. I couldn't blink. It's okay, I can blink now. I got hit by a debris on the way up. It was my bad. Should have just up jumped. So the thing to do there was just to up jump and blink, obviously. Blink is honestly so useful in this boss, which is one of the reasons why I recommend maxing it. It's so that your blink duration is longer. You can do it on a lower blink duration, but honestly it's best to... It eliminates a lot of variance if you have your blink maxed, because you'll be able to hang there for longer. Okay, that's a lot of garbage happening on that side. And we have single platform on that side. Okay. So honestly, I would... If I had a curring equipped, I would just curring here. But I don't, so I'm just gonna up jump and blink. And as you can see, you can just hold your blink and you're fine. Now, if I can not die, that would be great. I got hit by so much debris at the top there. So it was dangerous. Like, blink is dangerous, but only insofar as if either a lot of debris spawns, or if a truck spawns on top of you. So if those two things happen, you are kind of screwed. But you know, as you can kind of react to those things as they come along. If those things happen, you can if you have iframe up, you can just press iframe. This time we're going to go to the safe platform. Okay, safe platform is no longer safe, so we're just gonna iframe here, dodge his push, and up jump. Okay, we're gonna set up for a burst. I think this should be the last burst. I think. Okay, we're gonna bind him here because we don't want platforms. Platforms are gross. And we are gonna burst. I'm gonna pop steadfast core here so I can continue to hit him without having to worry. And of course he goes into purple. Oh, hey, I'm stupid. I just talked all about dodging purples and I walked into purple. Good job. So this is not exactly the perfect run. I'm on 1 life left. Obviously you don't want to be on 1 life left. But it is kind of like a 20-minute plus run, so... I think surviving 20 plus minutes in Lotus is kind of difficult. So, well, I mean, I'm not good enough to survive like consistently 20 plus minutes, so... This is a win from me. Not really, actually. I really should be doing better. But it is what it is. Okay, so you see a truck spawn above me, I'm just gonna drop an iframe to get out of that situation. So there are ways to deal with that. It's just really shitty if it happens to you. If you're using your blink and then like a truck spawns directly on top of where you're blinking. It's a really shit situation, so... if it happens to you, tough luck. If it doesn't happen to you, great. Anyways... Should be down to our last burst. Or last off burst, sorry, not burst. Oh, okay, that's a lot of garbage in the sky. Holy shit. Okay, we're gonna buff up. Gonna bind, and we're gonna burst. Or off burst. Please die. Frame. Okay, he's dead. Nice. So that was interesting run. Honestly, I'm just gonna keep it. This is the first take, and I had 1 life left, but it's fine. It's fine. It was like a 21, 22 minute run. So as you can see, at this kind of stat level, 21, 22 minute runs are still possible. Oh, I ran out of Maplestory at the end. So, anyways, it's about 34.5k stat around there. About 94%, 95% IED. So this is again without guild skills. So I assume that with guild skills, you guys will be able to do it even faster. Yeah, I also have like a bunch of gear taken off. I don't have my crit damage from gloves and all that kind of garbage. So basically, I feel that you should be able to do this faster if you have guild skills on, if you're around this stat, if you're 35 to 40k stat. I feel like it should be definitely doable at around a 15-minute pace. So my pace was about 22 minutes. I don't think I played perfectly either. I think I played pretty poorly, but other than that, I hope you guys learned something about the boss. I hope you guys learned a bit about the mechanics of the boss today. And yeah, that's about all I have. Please leave a comment if you think that I played poorly or if you have any suggestions on how I could improve. Always willing to take good feedback. And yeah, hopefully you guys learned something new today. I will see you all in the next video. Thank you guys very much for watching. Bye bye.